Hello. We're
All right. It's been a while.
we're recording in person.
Yep.
On. Yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Well, it's a spatula. Granted, an actual microphone. We didn't cobble together the actual microphone.
That would have been impressive.
Yeah.
If we'd actually made the microphone. But I'm gonna tweet this. We're gonna have a Twitter. We're gonna have like actual things where we appear to have got good, and I'll tweet a picture of this setup just so people can see just the shit state of affairs that we're dealing with. So we've made an effort to do things better, but let's not run before we can walk. Essentially.
Well, yeah. I mean, in an effort to get good as well, we're going under a new name from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough and Ready Up. Apparently sounded too much like what was the term?
I think gay porn would
Sounded too much like gay porn. Apparently.
I don't think it is.
I want to know where the frame of reference for that came from.
Exactly. You got to have deep knowledge of gay porn to really draw. Let's stop talking about gay porn. It's not about that, is it?
No, it's not about that. It's about video games.
Yeah.
And new names and
well,
reboots and shit. We're a reboot now. We're part of the games industry.
Well, the new name is SuperThunderCast, which is from the amazing Mega Drive classic Super Thunder Blade.
We put cast in there because it's a podcast, and
there you go.
Pretty fucking clever.
Yep.
We sat there and we've said it out loud. Right, in case you don't want to look at the Twitter, I'll explain. I have a lightsaber wedged into the side of a sofa. We have clipped a spatula to it. Is it a spatula or a fish slice? I don't know. I applied for MasterChef and I don't know. This is why I didn't get on. And then we've tied a microphone to the end of it with a hair bobble. Because the microphone was crackling so much, I've cut a scouring pad open and we've put it over the end of it as like a pop guard. It's some MacGyver level stuff, but it looks like it might work.
Yeah, well, it seems to be working so far.
If this works, we'll have to buy a new fish slice because I can't move that now.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. In the effort of keeping everything fresh, we thought we'd go for a new beginning. Try recording in person for once, see how it goes, and
just do things a bit differently. See if it comes out any better. Because I thought what we did was pretty good, but this is apparently going to be easier.
Hopefully. Right. Well, let's get started then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the only thing I've been playing is Fallout.
Yeah, I've done the same really.
It's consumed me. My fiancée has dubbed herself a Fallout widow. I laughed and went, "You've not died." Neither have I. Technically, the only Fallout widow involved is, spoilers, whoever you play as at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard there's big twists and stuff, so I don't know how true that is yet, but I've not seen it. Apparently there's an image going around on the internet as well of someone literally just spoiling the end of it at a hockey game. Don't know how it happened, but yeah. I
think if someone spoiled the end of a game in a public place like that, you should be allowed to drag them into the middle of wherever it is and beat them publicly.
It's a hockey game, so
I just throw him in the middle of a hockey fight then. Just watch two Bulgarians or Canadians knock shit out of him.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what you get for spoiling it. Beaten up by burly dudes with knives on their feet.
Fucking justice. That's what it is.
So what do you think of it?
I really, really like it. I mean, with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, to be honest, I didn't really get into New Vegas all that much. I love the setting. There's too many bugs really for me to really get into it. But this one, I've not seen any of that. I mean, I've heard that there's a lot of bugs, but I've not seen anything particularly jarring. And I like the fact that it isn't too different from Fallout 3. I mean, I know one of the biggest arguments for it is that it doesn't do anything new. I mean, it's probably true. But more of the same isn't necessarily a bad thing, if you ask me.
No, I think I've heard about the elevator bug, where if you get in an elevator at the beginning of the game and it doesn't open, you have to restart the entire game. So I made a point of the second I got out of that place, I went and found an elevator. I made damn sure it was working. So if it's glitched, I'll just start again. I will repeat this process until I've got a file that's not doing it.
Yeah.
But I've not had that. I've had a couple of weird little glitches. I've not had anything like the gif that's been going around of someone getting shot in the head and their torso spinning on the spot, and then the dog running off the edge of the thing. There's a woman that's in one of the towns, and she shouted at me, so I shouted back at her essentially. And you basically have a go at this woman, and she runs off almost crying.
Yeah.
But she didn't run off. She just turned around and started running into a wall. That was it. And then I went back later on, talked to her, smoothed things over. She doesn't run into walls anymore.
See, one of the things I don't like about it actually is the cut down dialogue trees kind of thing. The fact that you only you've got 4 dialogue options at most.
They're a bit vague as well. They don't tell you what exactly you're going to say. But I saw a thing earlier today that someone's already modded it to fix that.
Yeah, that's on PC though.
For now, we're getting the mods on consoles though.
Are we?
Yeah, you can get the mods on the console stuff.
Didn't know that.
We look like fine, upstanding, well-researched podcasters now.
Well, my thing with Fallout 4 was I was going to go in blind because I know what people are like with this. Every time something, well, it's kind of a bit polarizing, really, Fallout. You've got people who absolutely love it or people who hate it, but it always seems to get in it. When people are flinging their opinions around, you seem to have people spoiling stuff or having a go about certain things that aren't necessarily an issue. So I kind of stayed away from it to keep my playthrough a bit kind of untainted, really.
Yeah, I've been. It's that thing where people talk about. They've been going, oh yeah, the new leveling system is really, really good. I quite liked the way it worked on Fallout 3, where you had the different perks. Essentially, and it's kind of they've taken some of those out, which I know some of them are actually tied to like the comic books and things now, but I like the fact that they were all in one place.
Yeah, definitely. I think what they have done with it, for better or worse, they have changed it enough to justify a new version, like a Fallout 4, and it doesn't look as bad as everyone fucking says it does. It looks pretty good, considering the size of it and everything. It looks alright, but...
I don't think the engine's improved the graphics that much over something like Skyrim, but what I think it's done, or what they've done in modding it, is they've let it display more, because I don't remember at any point in Skyrim or Fallout 3 or anything like that fighting like 15 people at once.
Yeah.
And there's a car factory, and I went in it, and the entire bar at the bottom of the map was red, because there was just that many fucking people.
Yeah, I will say as well, I find this one quite a bit more difficult than Fallout 3. I think I've knocked it down to easy now, just because call me shit, but just found it hard. Just want to go through and explore it a bit. I don't see the point in struggling with certain parts of it. It's not like
I don't like getting jumped by rad scorpions. Also, I think you raised a point where you said you lower the difficulty to make it so you can just enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think difficulty settings particularly matter on a game where you've not got lives.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Like, if you've finished a game, like Uncharted, when people go, oh yeah, I finished it on hard. Whoop-de-doo, you can do that as a war of attrition because you haven't got a set number of lives. Lives aren't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just trial and error, really.
If it was like, oh, I've finished Super Meat Boy on hard, but by putting it on hard, it gives you like 15 lives.
Yeah.
And you've finished it, then yeah, well done, you've finished the game on hard. But otherwise, it's internet dick waving.
Pretty much.
And people do it for trophies, and I can't be arsed with trophies.
Well, I'm not arsed with Fallout 4's difficulty. And to be fair, I don't. Even with Skyrim, I think I even had that on something like easy. I just wasn't that arsed in the challenge side of it because, let's be honest, the combat isn't the greatest thing in the world in Bethesda games, and I don't think no matter how skilled of a player you are, I think you're always going to come up against certain problems in them that it doesn't really matter what difficulty you've got it on. You're going to fucking lose if you play it like an FPS, but then again, if you play it like an RPG as well, you're still going to fucking lose.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've thought about that, and when I've been leveling up, everything I've done has been based around the customization stuff and opening locks. Really weirdly, I've not really put anything into any of the sort of the damage increases. I've done all that through customization. So it kind of the damage I'm doing isn't buffed, but it's sort of scaled more based on what I've been able to do to the guns.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what happens if because it's weird. It kind of goes, yeah, gun nut lets you do stuff to rifles, but to do some of it, you need bits in the science one.
Yeah, you do.
So you've got to pick and choose. So I've tried to dogpile into that so I can get at the guns and at the stuff early on, just by like doing random little repeating missions for people, and then I'm going to build my character later, if that makes sense. It's kind of
it makes sense.
So I'm level 20 now, and I can open any lock, but I'm weak as shit. But my guns are quite good.
See,
I fire them.
I see. I put all my beginning levels. I put into charisma. So charismatic as fuck. Anyone will let me do anything if I talk to them. But it's a Fallout game, so there's a lot of combat in there. I know you can do pacifist runs. I've not seen anyone do anything or even attempt it on Fallout 4 yet.
I've not seen anyone successfully do it
but you can't with the shit dialogue options.
You can't with the people that are. This is the thing. It's kind of
how do you pacify a synth?
Any game that sort of goes, you can do this without. It's like Deus Ex where they've gone, oh, you can do the whole game without killing people. You go, all right, but you need to make sure at the same time as playing an FPS where you're not killing anybody or shooting anyone. Make sure it's not dull as fuck in the process.
That's true.
Because it's that thing where you're going, I'm playing a game flying in direct opposition to its codes and conventions.
Yeah.
And that, to me, kind of seems a bit weird. I mean, it's like, I can understand there being non-lethal options, which is what made Dishonored work, because it wasn't a case of you can kill everyone or you can do it without killing anybody. You still were in combat with people and knocking people out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, do you know what I mean? It wasn't that kind of weird.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm playing this game like a hippie.
I know what you mean. I didn't really play Dishonored either. I think I got that on PlayStation Plus maybe.
Yeah, it was on Plus a while back.
And I've just not opened it. But, yeah. You ate it.
I hate PlayStation Plus. It's one of the things we've written on our list of notes. If you actually scroll down, it says...
Chris played the PlayStation Plus games for November, and he wasn't fucking happy.
No.
Elaborate, Chris.
Well, the PlayStation Plus games, I've been sat there looking at stuff on the PlayStation Store, and I covered this on a previous podcast with a different name. And I said that every time you look at the PlayStation Store, there's that thing where you look at it and you go, I'm not going to play that game because it'll turn up on PlayStation Plus. So you run this risk of buying something, and then 2 weeks later, they go, guess what's on PlayStation Plus?
Yeah.
But the stuff they keep putting on the PlayStation Plus is shit. It's like, Super Meat Boy was on it this time. I was like, all right, well and good. Then they put the sequel to the first Walking Dead game on it.
Oh, yeah, they did, didn't they?
So it's like, okay, but what if I wanted to play I've not played the first one.
How much is the first one?
I don't know, but it was kind of like, I'm sat there, I'm one of these people who's not that asked about The Walking Dead.
All right.
I read the comics, and
game's good.
I'm not that fussed about how else now.
I'll say that those games are pretty good.
But it was that, and then there was that weird shitty roguelike, and just some other stuff, and I was just kind of like, it's another month that's been really crap. And it's been another month where all the rumoured stuff, you kind of sat there going, that's pretty cool that they put that on there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And I don't know whether it's something on the licensing side or what, but there just seems to be a lot of months of this thing that I've paid for. I've had it a year, and there hasn't been 1 month where something's popped up and I've gone, holy shit, I need that. And it's been kind of disappointing, because...
See, I don't mind some of the games on PlayStation Plus. Like, I think it was probably the first podcast we did, I mentioned Transistor on it. I wouldn't have played that if it wasn't for PlayStation Plus. I'm still in two minds whether to try Super Meat Boy, and I really wanted to get Broken Age, but I wasn't prepared to pay 20 quid for it. So it's good that I've got PlayStation Plus. It's that thing that when you do, I don't know if you do this, but when I get downloadable games, like I don't know, if I'm not looking forward to the game, or if I've just bought the game on a whim, I find it quite difficult to stick with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a load of PlayStation Plus games I've tried for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. They're not particularly bad. It's just been, alright, I died. I'll come back to it later, and I've just never gone back to it. I kind of agree, though, that it is kind of becoming a worse and worse crop each time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, Magica 2 could be fun. play
Magic
together.
2 seemed
but-
alright, but it's that thing. It's like I'd keep it playing the multiplayer stuff if I played my multiplayer games. I mean, we talked about Star Wars Battlefront last time we recorded, and I think that's probably going to justify Plus if I'm playing online, because you have to, essentially, and
Yeah.
I do quite like the look of that game. Like everything I've seen from it, and the people who've got it on early release and picked it up through dodgy shops and things like that,
Yeah.
it looks phenomenal. And I mean,
yeah.
I've heard mixed things, like people have said it's shallow. I was expecting depth from fucking Star Wars. I know that's a controversial statement, but when you think about it, it is.
It's true.
A very straightforward story in a very black and white universe. You should not be expecting like
Well, that's the thing.
beyond. Also, it's an FPS.
It's Battlefront. None of the Battlefront games have been deep games. They've all been deeply unbalanced.
It's all dip in, dip out. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's the whole point of it. I feel like running around in space, shooting some thinly veiled illusion to the Nazis. All right, off I go. I feel like being a thinly veiled illusion to the Nazis in space, because then it's okay. It's like Iron Sky. And shooting some dudes. Apparently you can shoot Ewoks as well, and I'm fucking well up for that.
Yeah.
Fucking Ewok.
Fucking.
There should be a mini game where you're allowed to like commit war crimes on Gungans. I know that sounds appalling, but fuck the
Jesus
Gungans. Fuck the Gungans. There'll be a DLC level where you can just run around as stormtroopers or Boba Fett and just cut loose on Jar Jar Binks. It'd be amazing.
I think it's going to be an interesting game to play once all the DLC's out and everything. Because apparently, as far as what I've heard, there's only a couple of modes that are actually worth playing on it. Like they don't have a conquest mode or anything like that. But once you've got more maps, more.
I think the
modes to
the
play.
one well you've got when you look the characters that are front and center, like the hero characters that you can play at the minute. You've got the Emperor Vader, Boba Fett, Han, Luke, and Leia.
What are you going to do with Princess Leia?
She runs about and like drops supplies and stuff and has a gun. Does things.
That's it.
She's basically like a healer, I think. She's a bit of a cop out, but
Sounds shit.
you get be Han Solo. You get run around cutting about as Han Solo, shooting people. He does his little weird charge from when he runs around corners and stuff. So I get more excited the more I talk about it, because I may have insulted Star Wars before, but at the same time I bleed Star Wars. So it's like
It's like when someone says, "Oh,
it's a
you can
dysfunctional relationship.
It's like I can insult my own children or something like that, but
Yeah.
no one else can. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's that thing where it's like you can tell that there's going to be 2 DLCs that have got new hero characters in.
Yeah.
One DLC is going to have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Maul, Grievous. It's probably going to have Maul, Grievous, and frigging Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And the other side's going to have
Obi-Wan,
Yoda, and
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu or Qui-Gon Jinn. Personally, if they make this
Well, that's
game
it
so
then.
you can cut about in it, and in the middle of a random battle on Hoth, because you've got the right DLC, Christopher Lee comes walking across a battlefield, and then frigging Samuel L. Jackson jumps you and runs at him, and you've got a guy on voice chat screaming like Samuel L. Jackson in any of his films. That will make that game essential buy anyway.
It's either going to be that, or you're going to get some dickhead reciting Taken across the battlefield. It's going to make no sense. But then again,
It's going to be funny.
it's going to be hilarious.
It's like, this is the thing. I think like all the reviews are obviously playing the game on retail servers and stuff, but they're not going to be playing them on full thing, and they're not going to be playing them with. They're going to be playing them with other reviewers, the people who are sat there going, "I need to find some faults in this. I need to do this. I need to play it and look at it this way." What they want to be doing is they want to be playing it with a bunch of pissed up dickheads, because that's how we'll all be playing it.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly. I think as well, like I've noticed on a lot of sites anyway, when they're doing a review, especially with multiplayer stuff, it's like a rolling review. Like they'll give you, like the embargo will be broken like the day that it comes out, and very few places will say this is our definitive score on it straight
They do
away.
like a run up to it, don't they? Because they'll go like,
Yeah.
"This is what we thought of." Like I suppose it's like with Call of Duty. The bit before it comes out, they'll kind of review the single player and go, "It's 20 minutes long. What do you do?" And then the full review won't be until a week later, where they've had a chance for the servers to fail and
People have
people
a
playing
run through the
people
zombie stuff
and
that
people
kind of
go
stuff.
through the multiplayer and have like a couple of proper map rotations and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's that thing where there's some games that they're really hard to review as well, because you could review the single player and be like, this is incredible, and hate the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Is that a reason enough to not buy the game, potentially? It depends on the game.
Well, I think that comes down to you, really. I mean, I personally am not a multiplayer gamer. I don't really care about multiplayer in general. So, for example, Call of Duty, to me now, is just a shit single player shooter that I'm not going to get. I'm only going to get about 4 hours of enjoyment out of if I play that. But with Battlefront, I think I'll probably give it a go.
I think Battlefront would be that thing where we can kind of just see. I'm quite looking forward to getting it, because it's going to be that thing where you're kind of going, I don't want to burn myself out on Fallout. I'm enjoying that, so I'm going to have a bit of a cut about on this and then go back to it. Plus,
it's coming out around Christmas. There's going to be loads of people
we're
playing.
eating Star Wars, man. We're getting into December. It's out exactly a month before the goddamn Star Wars. A month from now. Actually, a month from now, time-wise, I'm going to be sat in a cinema in VIP seats watching the new Star Wars film with my dad. And I'm quite looking forward to that as a thing. And then the day after, I'm going to watch it with my fiance.
In between, you're going to be so fucking hyped. You're going to be, I've just got to go and shoot some
In
fucking
between,
rebels.
I'm just playing Star Wars. And anyone says anything, they're just going to be like, why are you watching it twice? And I'm just going to scream and go, fucking Star Wars. My generation's Lord of the Rings. Fuck off.
While you're going to be messing around with Star Wars, going in all them battles, I'm going to be doing something different.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on a fucking Wii U. That fucking dinner tray thing that people play games on, apparently.
You're going to be able to play. You're going to be able to play on it on the bog. You're going to be able to stop playing in your living room, get up, go play it in the bog.
I get shouted at.
You're going to get asked to go and sort your little lad out when he's in bed at night, right? You're going to be able to take your game with you. You're going to be able to sit there, comfort him, and play it at the same time. Nintendo. Wrecking marriages since day.
I'm really fucking excited to play it. I got a while ago. I got a new 3DS, and one of the things I was interested in playing because I got rid of my Wii. I wouldn't say like an idiot. There wasn't anything for me to play on it until Xenoblade came out, but that was like a year and a half after I got rid of my Wii. I got Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for it, and over the past probably 4 months, I'd say. I've been going in, I've been dipping in and out. I've got to a bit now in it. I fucking love it. It's all I'm playing. Like, I'm playing Fallout, but as soon as Fallout's off, I'm on the 3DS. I've not slept properly. And this isn't because I've got a 4-month-old baby. A 5-month-old baby, I should say. It's because I'm playing 2 fucking massive RPGs at the same time. I can't divide my time properly. I'm terrible at it, Chris. I work in fucking timetabling.
Dude, if you look, right, we're sat in my living room at the minute, and under my TV there's an Xbox. It has Lost Odyssey in it. There is PS4. It's got Fallout 4 in it. The PS2's got Persona 4 in it. The Dreamcast has, I think it had Shenmue in it, because after we talked about how much I hated it, I thought I'd give it another go. My opinion has not changed. The only thing that's not some sort of giant game sat in all that lot at the minute is the SNES, because it's got Turtles in Time in it. I just cut about on that, one-shot it in an afternoon. But I'm with you when you say it's multiple big games at once, because that's how I operate now. Okay.
Well, I was watching, talking to Xenoblade, I was on Twitter, I was speaking to a guy called Coffee Jesus, he's on the Tweaky Mannix podcast, and I was mentioning the fact that there is just too much stuff to play at the minute. I really want to play Xenoblade, but I don't have a Wii U. And he just linked me to a video on YouTube of, it was the PAX Prime kind of world walkthrough, in a way. Loads of concept art, loads of just kind of little tidbits of information, small videos. I was just fucking taken with it. I was like, this looks right up my giant robots, Chris. giant robots, post-apocalyptic worlds, fucking, I'm all over it.
Do you fight other giant robots, or are you in some sort of
Not
super
sure
robot
yet.
situation?
I'm not sure yet. You might be the only robot, but it looks.
I want to know if there's multiple robots, because now you've said this, there's part of me that's like, giant robots, you say?
Well, it just looks. I was never really that bothered about the Wii U. But, I mean, there was always stuff out for it, but I just was like, I'm not prepared to spend that much money on it. But now that this has come out, there's the new Zelda coming.
And it's dropped in price as well. And
Yeah.
you've got things like Bayonetta 2,
Exactly.
Hyrule Warriors, Smash Brothers, Mario Maker,
Exactly.
Mario Kart.
There's stuff to actually
Fuck,
play.
I need a Wii U.
Yeah. I would. Well, I can't recommend one yet. 'Cause I don't have
Once
one,
you've
but
played it, report back and convince me.
I will.
We can have another one of those. You try and convince me of something sections, and in the end, you wind up hating it because I'm a fountain of despair.
I don't know. I'm really, like I say, I'll report back once I've played it, but I am really, really looking forward to that game now. That's my Christmas present.
I can't decide if the Wii U is one of those things that I look at and go, that's much more of like a family-friendly. Well, it is a family-friendly console. It's a
Pretty much,
Nintendo
yeah.
machine, isn't it? But I think that's the thing. I think that's what kind of put me off with the Wii, because I played on it and I was like, I'm not 6. And I got through the stuff I wanted to play, and then the stuff that I was looking forward to, that remember when everyone was getting hyped for the Conduit, and then it came out and everyone was like, no. It was just like,
Do you remember Red Steel?
Yeah, I do remember Red Steel. But it was
Do you
like,
remember being sat at our mate's house trying to fucking multiplayer it, and everyone said no one understood it. It was.
oh no, one of us understood it, but he was the screen watching fuck who'd finished it twice by the time we got there. You know who you were.
Yeah.
The good old days where screen watching was still frowned upon, and it got you hit with pizza boxes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of regret getting rid of my Wii U because, not my Wii U, my Wii, because there was quite a bit of stuff on it, and the Virtual Console. I mean,
You've still got access to all the Virtual Console stuff, though.
not all of it.
Not
You
well, I
can't-
mean, not all
can't
of
get
it.
the
But
SNES stuff, and that's the stuff I want to play because I've never owned a SNES. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because we can get Earthbound on it finally. So
oh well, that's going to be epic.
that's gonna be good. So yeah,
So it plays Wii games still, though, doesn't it?
yeah, it still plays the original Wii game.
So you can still get into all the back catalogue stuff. You pick it up for nothing now as well, because the Wii was about 80p the last time you went into game.
I remember trading my Wii in. I got 30 quid for the console itself.
Do you remember when I traded it in right before the price drop, and it traded in for 120?
Yeah,
And I was
traded
just
in
like,
for like 40 quid less than what you paid for it.
that traded in for 120 and 360 went for 100. So it's going, what are you going to buy? Don't know. Stick it on a gift card.
Those are the fucking days when you could actually get stuff for you.
Well, you say that, when it came to Fallout 4, I don't know whether the internet is about to hate me or think this is going to be amazing, but you remember the whole pre-order debacle with the Pip-Boy edition?
Yeah.
Like, game cancelling pre-orders on people not being able to get it, stock running low, just a general shit show. I walked into game on the day Fallout came out. I strode up to the till, and I was like, can I have a copy of Fallout, please? Like, very, very polite. And the two people behind the till immediately turned into the fucking sales mode, which we used to have to do, where it was like, oh, well, do you want this with it? Do you want this with it? Do you want this with it? Do you want us to protect your disc for £1? And that was the only time where I thought, no, I'm not a fucking moron. And it was like, they went, well, we've got a Pip-Boy edition. I was like, what?
In the store?
We've got a Pip-Boy edition for free sale? I was like,
that's unheard of.
I was like, how the fuck have you managed that? And they had a free sale PC one that was open with all the stuff out to show people what was in it. Then they had the 360 one that was still sealed and the PlayStation one that was still sealed. I was like, how much is it? It's this much. You get this stuff. And I had like 80 quid on a gift card and I had about 10 on my reward card.
Yeah.
So it came to about 30 quid for everything I was getting all told. I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And I had to carry this giant Pip-Boy edition to work with me, and I I spent the day at
Comes
work.
out a massive briefcase thing, doesn't it?
I spent all day explaining what it was. And it was weird because it was like the first time I've ever felt true like I wasn't surrounded by people who played games. Because they were all just looking at me like, and you've just spent money buying a game that comes with a jumped up wristwatch. I was like, yeah, but I can put my phone in it. And I got home, my phone don't fit in it. So I've got a very nice Pip-Boy on top of a shelf now. And yeah, I just thought I'd share that so I can feel your hatred. Because I know people really wanted them. And I went in and got it on like the off chance. So it might be worth actually, like consumer tip. If you live somewhere where there's multiple game stores, try checking if they've got them in. And also, as people used to work in games, sometimes they get stuff like that in a couple of weeks later. Just like randomly found and tucked in the back of a warehouse.
There'll be all the ones that, didn't get dispatched to people.
Yeah, there'll be like cancelled pre-orders and things like that. So it's if you were still after one, probably now's probably your time to start going in and asking if they've had any more in or what's going on. I mean, don't ask if they're expecting any on a delivery because they won't know. But you might be able to get hold of one. It's quite nice doing customer advice like that, like important consumer guidance.
After I got my fucking Metal Gear 5 one, I'm done with collector's editions. I'm absolutely done.
Cheap plastic
crap that's useless. It's still in its box.
I know someone who uses it as a back scratcher.
I was thinking of using it to hold the weird microphone thing. That would have been pretty cool. But
the spatula mic.
But thinking about it, that's probably heavier than it. So
is it that?
It's real light. It's not very good. It's not like those. It's not like the Japanese one, which is like full size. It's kind of like probably say.
It's almost like if it was like. I just like the idea of Big Boss running around with that special edition. He's got like a little baby arm. It's like
it's like a baby arm. It's shit. Is what it is.
Shit baby arms.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? What else do you want to talk about?
Well, what else have we got on my list of stuff? You've got quite a nice one to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite nice. Right, the other day, I was playing Fallout, and Becky, my wife, said to me, look after Elliot for a minute. Elliot, if you don't know, my child is only 5 months old. Look after Elliot for a minute. I've got to go and do something.
Got to do wife-based activities.
Yeah. And he sat on my knee, and if you know what a 5-month-old baby is like, they're all hands. They can't help grabbing hold of anything. Plus, he's my child, and I gesture a lot. So
seriously, you've never
I'm doing it right now.
You've never met anyone talk with their hands quite so much.
It's the Italian in me. But yeah,
if you had an Italian in you, that would just make you gesticulate anyway.
Well, and he's there grabbing at the controller, and I thought to myself, I know what I'll do. I'll let him press the buttons and see what he does. So we're playing Fallout, and I had.
He's only 17 years and.
He's got a body count to him already. He killed 3 super mutants. No,
he just looked at you and was like, I want to drink the blood.
But I had him on my knee, and of course I'm directing his fingers. But it was brilliant because he was reacting to what was happening on screen. So like I'd get his finger and pull the trigger on like the las gun or something, and obviously it makes big noise and
there's light and stuff.
His little face like just lit up, and he started laughing. And I was just like,
so it's not like he was. This is the thing as well.
Playing a game.
There might be some dickhead listening to this now going, I can't believe he's got a child playing a video game already. Fuck off. Yeah. Is my reaction to that.
Cause... No, it was a great moment because it was like, I remember playing games when I was a kid, and I mean, my dad played a little bit with me, but it wasn't like, he was never particularly interested. He always thought it was a toy, so it was like every now and then we'd have a little play on, I don't even know what I played with him. That's how bad it was. Well, not bad. It wasn't bad.
I used to play all sorts with my dad because it was basically my love of games is in fact my dad's fault. And I think if he knew that, he'd probably be really annoyed because he used to play, like we covered it already, TIE Fighter is probably one of my favourite games ever. And that was my dad's, as was Doom 2, which is also one of my favourite games ever. and my mum didn't like the idea of me playing Doom 2 because it was violent and gory.
Yeah.
So my dad found the Simpsons mod, so it was Doom, but you played as Simpsons characters, and there was no blood in it or anything. And so I got to play Doom that way, and then he got like Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 and stuff like that. It was a lot of PC gaming, and then I got a Master System for my 5th birthday, and I remember my dad finishing Sonic the Hedgehog that came on it. And
that's pretty cool.
I remember me and my dad both being like, so I was like, oh my god, my dad's just finished Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I'm there thinking, I'm going to school tomorrow and I'm giving it the big one. And it was just, I remember me and my dad both being a bit like, what the hell? At the ending where it was Sonic giving a thank you speech at a microphone and tapping his foot. It was like he was bored with his own speech. I distinctly remember being like, that's pretty cool that we finished it, but at the same time, what?
Actually, saying that, I remember one of my earliest, well, I wouldn't say earliest gaming memories, but earliest memory with my dad playing was when I got my PS1. I got Tomb Raider with it. And that wasn't for me, that was for my dad. Because all his mates at work had been playing Tomb Raider, and he was like, I want to give it a go. So he basically get me to do all the jumping, which was the majority of the game, and he'd just walk from jump to jump, and I'd jump for him, essentially. it was the worst, but it's like, that's essentially what I want Elliot to have when he gets bigger, is like, I did this with my dad first kind of thing. And
the thing is, you'll also he'll probably wind up in a similar situation to how I did, where when he eventually gets his first console, there's a game in there that's very professional. There'll be a game in there that's not necessarily for you. Like when I first got my PlayStation when I was 11, Tekken 3 wasn't for me. Tekken 3 was for my dad and my uncles. What they didn't realise was I was going to play it.
You unleashed beast mode.
You beat them all. 11-year-old kicking fuck out of a bunch of 40-year-old men. Greatest feeling in the world. Because you sat there going, every time you messed up my you dick. Like, just knocking someone out, not even looking.
You're looking at him just going, you next. Come on, win stays on. Let's do this.
I distinctly remember being a bit like former Q and just hammering all of them. And I think that's going to be the thing, because it'll be when Elliot's old enough, it'll be everyone's round like a barbecue or something. Someone goes, oh, let's just sit inside, it's raining. Pull out a console, put Street Fighter on.
He'll tan my hide.
And his training will kick in. And then what will eventually happen is we're going to have to take him down a peg. And there's going to be that awful moment when we're sat there going, you turn your boy into a Street Fighter equivalent of Rain Man, and now we have to essentially kill what you created.
Guessing our moves before we do them, comboing out them, doing cancels.
We're going to have to kill what you created, essentially. Not physically, but like in a gaming sense. It's going to be like, it's that thing as well, when you're playing a game with a kid and you kind of like let them win.
Yeah.
At what point with a fighting game does pride take over and you go, no, I'm perfecting him? It's like, you're going to learn today.
Yeah, you got to show him his boss first. He's not got to touch the floor first time. And then, because that way, he'll get that sense of achievement when he finally knocks fuck out of you.
I know, but what about that thing where if he's not touched the floor for the first 6 to 8 weeks of playing it on your training regimen?
You do it every time. So you let him get one in every now and then.
What? I'm saying you build him up, you train him, you get him on a par with you, and then you get to do that thing where you go, son, taught you everything you know at Street Fighter, but not taught you everything I know. And then he doesn't touch the floor, just so he knows. He thinks he's good, he thinks he's slick, but he just has to know
like
that
little hero's journey in his head.
at the back of his mind, he needs to know that now on he's got to fly solo if he wants to beat his dad. And that's the thing. That's what I want to instill. I want him to I want to be let him bed one day, and I want my son to kick the bedroom door open, point at me and go, you old man PlayStation now. And I just want to be like,
show me your move.
I want to sit up and be like, you want to do this? You want to do that? And I'm going to sit down and he's going to think he's good. And it's that thing where you're like, all right. You think you've got good. And then you start calling him boy.
That's it then.
And you start calling him boy, he'll get around on you. You roll your sleeves up and the little fucker doesn't touch the floor for the rest of the day. He'll learn. Because it's like, you've been playing games your entire life. I've been playing games the whole of your life too. It's like, but I've got 20 years on you. Let's do this.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
That's going to be how I operate.
Yeah, I just wanted to give him a bit of an introduction. I mean, I know he's only 5 months old, but, you know, an introduction's an introduction. Plus, he's killed a super mutant. I never did that at 5 months. I didn't even know what a super mutant was, to be fair. He didn't know what a super mutant was. He was dribbling the entire time. Yeah. Anything else?
You're in trouble.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. I'll cut that bit out, don't worry.
Yeah, we will.
In terms of anything else, I don't know if there is, because we've both been consumed by Fallout.
Pretty much this time, yeah.
What are you going to be playing? Because the next one might be after Christmas. It's either going to be just before or just after, isn't it?
I imagine it'll probably be
January, maybe.
If it isn't December, if it isn't late December. In fact, it's going to be quite hard in late December because, you know, family and shit.
Baby's first Christmas, stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to be...
Yeah, because we got to do the obligatory Game of the Year show.
Ah, right. What is your current contender still what it was before Fallout came out?
Yeah.
So's mine.
Well...
This is the thing. It's like, are we going to end up having an argument over what was better, Bloodborne or The Witcher? Because I don't think we could do that, because I've played more of The Witcher than you, and you played more Bloodborne than me. That's going to fail. We're just going to sit there and go, well, we both played Fallout, and that was both pretty good, so we can agree on that. Fallout, I could round a corner and just have that bit where it was like when I was first playing The Witcher, there was that bit where I was playing it, I was going, this is good. This is really, 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 really good. Yeah. And then you just do like 1 or 2 quests back to back where everything clicks, and you go, nah, this is fucking amazing. And it clicks, you go, yeah, right, I'm sold. I get this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I had that with Bloodborne. I think it was when I finally beat the fucking Cleric Beast. It was like, that's it. My fucking game. But I've already pre-ordered the DLC for that, so I'm going to be busy.
Well, that's out next week, isn't it? Yeah. It's out on Wednesday.
You'll probably, like any other Souls game, will require a completely new playthrough to get to, probably. So
I think... But yeah, like we said, we've changed the name to SuperThunderCast. Yeah. We're going to have a Twitter. It's probably going to be SuperThunderCast.
Hopefully.
Because I don't think anyone's going to have that as a name.
It's a long name as well.
We might
SuperThunderCat.
It might be SuperThunderCat. Who knows?
Well, we'll find
it. We'll sort it out, and we'll put some stuff out there. We'll find you.
It's going to be on our respective Twitter accounts. I don't know if you want to mention your Twitter
Mine's at El Wervo. Think like El Barto, but El Wervo. I know it's fucking lame. It's a handle I've had since I was 12. Piss off.
Mine's at Alabaster Mage, because it was a Magic the Gathering card. Never played it once, but there you go.
There's also another story why the Alabaster is relevant, but I'll tell you that later.
Right, yeah, so that's been it. That's been the first SuperThunderCast. Yeah,
and I think next time we might be talking about some video-based stoofs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm going to attempt to stream Star Wars stuff. Not the films, obviously. I'm not going to break the law, but the games definitely. Right.
Right.
Well, I'm done.
Yeah.